Richard Dawkins tweeted, "Do you think personal feelings or lived experience matter more than objective evidence? Or that reason and science are tools of oppression? Do you believe in alternative ways of knowing? If so, you won't want to donate to the Richard Dawkins Foundation." And Imran Hussein responded, "Logical positives packaged. Shocking that people are still pushing scientism." And I said, "How is this promoting scientism?" The only slightly controversial part in his statement was alternative ways of knowing, other than reason and evidence, he meant. Care to elaborate? Do you think there are ways of knowing other than reason and evidence? You are confused. Scientism, I continue, is the claim that science is the only route to truth, or the overstatement of the truth-bearing ability of science. How this statement, reason and evidence are the only way to knowledge, is scientism. So, guys, I thought that he learned something. Now he posts this video.
So recently, Richard Dawkins put out a tweet where he's trying to raise money for his foundation. Now, what's really interesting is that he mentions, and I'll pop it up on the screen for you guys, he does a bit of reverse psychology here, trying to encourage people to donate towards his foundation. But at the same time, what he's getting across in this message is that this foundation is for those who believe in science, who believe that science is the only way to truth. And he even undermines people by saying, are you someone, for example, that believes in other forms of knowledge or routes to knowledge? Essentially, what he's getting across here is that science is the only way to truth. In other words, scientism.
No, Imran, you are simply dumb, my friend. And you cannot read. And you deserve what is coming to you because I corrected you. This guy, for some reason, he doesn't respond to me. There are two possibilities. Either, of course, he is afraid because he can understand what will happen if he responds. Either because I don't have many subscribers, he ignores me. Okay, either way, that's your problem, because now I will humiliate you, you idiot. Although I gave you the chance to correct yourself. So let's see what Richard Dawkins actually said. He says, "Do you think personal feelings or lived experience matter more than objective evidence?" Okay, if you think that, Imran, you are an idiot. So far, nothing controversial. Or that reason and science are tools of oppression. If you think that, Imran, you are an idiot. So far, nothing controversial. Now, the next part, you might have some feelings. Do you believe in alternative ways of knowing? If so, you won't want to donate to the Richard Dawkins Foundation. When he says alternative ways of knowing, what he means? Alternative of what? What he said earlier, of reason and science. But are there alternative ways of knowing other than reason and science? No, there aren't, Imran Hussein. There are alternative ways to truth. You can roll dice and reach to truth. But there aren't alternative ways of knowing other than reason and science. How else do you know something? Intuition? That's not knowing. How about revelations? That's not knowing. That's just guessing. Even if the revelations are true, if you don't investigate the revelations with reason and evidence, you don't really know. Isn't that right, Imran? So the statement of Richard Dawkins is correct.
And it's strange that even today you would find people promoting scientism, this old form of logical positivism which has just been repackaged by people like Richard Dawkins and promoted. And it's ridiculous. Here's a challenge. I will donate towards Richard Dawkins Foundation if he or any of his minions or his followers would come out and be able to prove this statement, that science is the only way to truth, scientifically.
Yet he said alternative ways of knowing, not truth, and he added also reason. Not strictly the scientific method.
If you can stick it into a test tube or in some sort of petri dish and prove that this statement is true scientifically, then I will donate towards Richard Dawkins Foundation. See, the reality is, guys, science is not the only way to truth. Even that claim cannot be scientifically validated. See, people need to wake up. People need to realize that this old, dry form of atheism and naturalism that Dawkins is still promoting is outdated. Anyone that still follows it, it's ridiculous. It makes no sense.
We agree that science is not the only route to truth. There are many routes to truth. Okay, like luck, intuition, philosophy, many routes to truth. The most reliable is reason and evidence. In other words, science, which is a rigorous, systematic way to investigate the natural world. In other words, to find out the evidence. If you think you know things, Imran, without using reason and evidence, you are deluded. You don't know.
So at the very least, I'm not saying, look, become religious or become a Muslim. What I'm saying is just open your mind a little bit. Realize, at least start off by recognizing that there are other routes to knowledge aside from science. Science is a brilliant method. It's probably the best. It is the best method that we have to study the physical and material world that exists around us. But there are other aspects to life.
There are many routes to knowledge. Okay, many. No, there are only two. There are many routes to truth. The only way to knowledge is reason and evidence. There isn't any other way. Is intuition knowledge? No, it isn't. Is revelation knowledge? Without investigating whether these revelations are consistent with reason and evidence. No, it's not knowledge.
There are other very important aspects to life that science cannot tell you about. Science cannot guide you in that regard. So I just wanted to leave this with you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, and I'll speak to you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, let's be absolutely precise. Except of things that are first-person experience, like for example, I love, I am in pain, I feel jealous. These things, because it's first-person, direct experience, I know I love, I know I am in pain, I know I feel jealous, because that is first-person direct experience. But for everything else, including whether your mother loves you, in other words, all the outside world, the only way we know things is through reason and evidence. Okay? But is this what Imran wants to communicate when he says science is not the only route to knowledge? No. What he wants to falsely communicate is revelations and intuition is more reliable than science when it comes to truth and knowledge, which is false and misleads millions of Muslims in an overstatement of the truth-bearing abilities of revelations and intuition and an understatement of the truth-bearing ability of science. And I find it really rich when Imran, that belongs to a group of people that made blind faith and gullibility a science and attack epistemology more than any other group of people on the planet. Listen to what I'm saying, guys. Imran Hussein belongs to a group of people, together with Sobur and Hamza Georges, that more than any other group in the world mislead millions of Muslims to misunderstand epistemology. And this group has the nerve to accuse atheists of doing that. They accuse atheists of overstating the truth-bearing ability of science when we don't do that. And they are, in fact, the people who are understating the truth-bearing ability of science. In fact, they say that revelations and intuition is higher than science. And we should trust the Quran more than science. And if science contradicts the Quran, science is wrong because science is changing and all this kind of nonsense. So instead of giving lessons to others, when you are in fact the most toxic group when it comes to epistemology on the planet, how about look in the mirror, Imran Hussein? Before I close, Imran Hussein, I will post first of all this video to your channel and we will see whether you will reply. But before I close, I want to give you an assignment. Is the science of Hadith or Islamic sciences a big fallacy from authority? I see that you care about epistemology. So you obviously will care about this question. Is that right? You care about epistemology. This is also epistemology, Imran. So answer. Are Islamic sciences a big fallacy from authority? Yes or no? Closing, I will show you the friend of Imran Hussein, the Hag guy. The guy who started all this, how much he cares about epistemology.
And has a qalb, a heart, has an aql, and the intellect is a function of the heart in Islamic tradition, and it has a fitrah, and the fitrah is clouded. And within the fitrah, the innate disposition, there are forms of proto-knowledge in the Islamic tradition that God is a reality and that He's worthy of worship. But that clouded. So it could be that a sound, rational argument, philosophical argument, whatever, can uncloud your innate disposition to awaken the truth within. Or it could be something else. Or it could be a combination of things. So when you ask me, it needs to be demonstrated, well, I need to find out who you are. Because I don't know where your cloud is. Maybe you need a rational argument. Maybe you need a good hug. Maybe you need some love. Maybe you need some really strong Quranic verses to wake you up, because the reason for your disbelief is arrogance, right? Because the reason for your disbelief is arrogance, right? Because the reason for your disbelief is arrogance, right? To find out who you are, because I don't know where your cloud is. Maybe you need a rational argument. Maybe you need a good hug. Maybe you need some love. Maybe you need some really strong Quranic verses to wake you up, because the reason for your disbelief to find out who you are. Because I don't know where your cloud is. Maybe you need a rational argument. Maybe you need a good hug.